Hello, how you
Hello.
doing?
Good evening from Europe.
Good evening from the United Kingdom.
Good afternoon from hot Miami, Florida.
How's it
Look at
going,
Nice.
us. We're
people?
so global.
We're global, almost. It is
Enjoying
episode
the
10.
summer
Episode
episode.
10. We've done it. Get AI creative.
Already?
Episode 10. It's gone fast. Super fast. I'm surprised. It's how have we I don't know. I'm surprised that we've got this far, but also surprised that we haven't got further. There's a lot of surprise.
We've gotten far though. I mean, 3 people doing 10 episodes together. I feel like that's an accomplishment. And we have friends here with us. We'd love to know if anyone's been here for all 10 of the episodes or like
You get a
80%.
special cookie. We're gonna go into Midjourney and make a special AI cookie for you. A
Yeah.
badge. A
I
cookie
think
badge.
You
there's
get brownie.
definitely been people with us from the start. I've got to sort of go back through my mental filing cabinet and try and think of who it might be, but there's definitely people have been there.
Shola's been with us.
Yes, Shola.
Melanin Moods, Monique, Stephanie. We've got our
Oh
regular.
geez.
Oh,
For
geez.
sure.
Oh geez.
How's it going, Alex? How are you?
Pretty good. I am sick because of the American people. No, that's a controversial opinion. But I mean about the air conditioning. Air conditioning, folks. I've been to New York for 1 week. And you people out there, you love your air conditioning. Because outside it was like 35 degrees Celsius. We Europeans use that metric system. And they would like blast me with 10 degrees Celsius. And I was like freezing inside the places. So now I have a slight cold. But I'm feeling amazing.
Oh, you're
Incredible.
not used to
Top
air
shape.
conditioning.
You look great.
No, I'm a weak man. I'm a skinny AI boy. Like a bit of breeze and I'm dead.
Come to Miami. It's
I would
freezing
love
in
that.
any restaurant that you go into because that
I
air
would
is
love Miami. I would love. It's one of my dreams to go to Miami Beach, and I want to see if there's some AI event there so I can have an excuse to join, and I'm there.
Oh yeah. There's a
Amazing.
ton of AI stuff going on here. Hi Monique, so good to see you. Thanks for saying hi in the chat. Let us know if you all are here.
So we are on X, we are on YouTube, and we are on LinkedIn today. So we're
How
doing well.
about you, friends? How's your day going? How are you feeling?
Good. I'm okay. We've had a pretty busy day so far. We just wrapped a space on X. It got pretty spicy. It was about
See.
personal branding, and people were really enjoying it. There was quite a few people in the room, Christelle. How many was there?
I don't know. I can't remember what the
A gazillion people.
A
yeah, it was
bazillion.
like about
A
a gazillion.
gazillion people.
X crashed.
It was like
Again,
trazillion and gazillion somewhere in there, but it was a
huge,
really
huge.
it was a really great space. John Nasta joined us. Yvonne joined us. Lee. We had some really great people there talking about personal branding. And right before that space, Dan Ryan had his personal branding space, which was totally not, planned like that. And then we moved the Edu Creator Live space to 12. So it was like 2 back-to-back personal branding spaces. So like 3 solid hours of talking about
So
it.
why
And then
not make it three
we
back to back? Why not make it three back to back? Personal branding.
It's a full day of personal branding. Tuesdays is
Super
personal branding.
personal branding. So
Global.
personal that you're just part of the family. So
Tell us
branded.
about how is New York, Alex? Tell us about your adventures.
The legal ones? Yeah. Okay. I went to a few dinners and lunches. It was beautiful. The food is very flavory. It has a lot of taste. Also because it's
Find
very
it, people.
expensive. It's very expensive. Like you just go inside the bar, you would look at the beers, and it would cost like $30. Like I just
Yeah.
looked at the fridge. I didn't order them. Yeah, that's 20% tip, folks. So it was great. We were at Roosevelt Island for this event, like Imagine AI Impact for 1 day. A lot of cool people there, a lot of AI talks. But New York was cool. Like I've been to a park on Sunday or something. They were doing this Broadway show, which was amazing. There was this man in a suit who approached me, and I talked with him, I guess, business stuff. I don't know. It's just wild vibes in New York, man. Like if you imagine that American hustling energy, you got it there. And I felt lazy. Like I was talking to people, right? It was like 9 p.m. on the terrace enjoying some drinks, and somebody was like, yeah, I have to leave in 1 hour. I have sales calls. On Friday evening, like the European mind cannot comprehend this. And then another girl I met, and she was like, yeah, tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. we wake up. We're till 4 at our startup. We work on the weekends. And I was like, oh, Jesus, I need to go back on tour. I need to post more. I'm sorry. What am I doing here? Enjoying my life on Friday evening. Big energy.
Find good
Big
pizza?
energy.
Did you find good pizza?
Yes. There was this man, Mark Heaps. He's working at Grok. Amazing guy, super smart. And we went together to this pizza place, and it was actually amazing. And we had also like meatballs. Like just literally they bring us the meatballs in a little pot like this. It was like so good. It was so good. I was so happy. And
You
you know
look so
why?
Italian. This is like the meatballs. They were so
Le
good.
polpette, avevano le
More
polpette.
Italian right now.
But you know why it was good? Because when you check the menu, there was no pizza with pineapple. The menu was really simple, 5 pizzas. That's
Hold
that.
up. Hang on a second. Do they not serve that in New York? I thought that was like a.
At the place where I went, which was a
Yeah.
legit Italian place, they didn't have it. And it's not a
They
mystery.
had
They
no
don't serve
meatballs.
that. Meatballs. What about you, folks? How was your week?
It's been
Oh, my
good.
goodness.
Yeah, it's been good. Lots of spaces, lots of work as well, and then children are on summer holidays, so a little bit busy as a parent as well, which has been fun. But yeah, lots of new people on X. Met a few new people on LinkedIn. We've done some new shows about AI music. We've done some personal branding, obviously.
Lots of useful branding talk.
All personal branding. Just going to bring it back to the topic.
I give you 37 more seconds to talk about personal branding. Personal branding.
We've got a ticker in the corner just over there, just telling us how many times personal branding gets mentioned in the
Yeah,
show.
that was-
Take a shot every time. Take a shot every time.
Exactly. Yeah, Christelle, how you doing?
Good. We started Edu Creator Live again yesterday. So season 3, season 1 and 2, we went 90 episodes. Took a little break to do some live streaming, a little show called this one, Get AI Creative, and then Daybreak on Wednesday. So yeah, so we started up again. So that's a whole, doing a daily space is a lot, but it's a lot of fun. I actually missed it. It's a little cray because it's like, you're trying to fit things in, and it's not just the space. It's like the pre-space, it's the post space, it's, so, but yeah, so it's been a good, productive, I don't want to say busy, but good community driven week. That's what it feels like.
Love to hear it. Now, folks, you are here branding experts, right? You talked about 3 hours about branding. I want to know top 3 takes, right? So we have an audience here of another gazillion people. There's also Elon Musk, who's like, he's following this, but he's in the anonymous thingy function that they introduced. Nobody asked for it, but they have it. So he can join spaces and I'll tell you. So I would love to know in these 3 hours, like 3, maybe if you want to share, 3 branding things, because all of us have very specific branding, right? I know Hendo with the fire stuff. I know Christelle with the purple charisma. I have a bit of a black and gold and yellow vibes there with the tech stuff. So I think maybe it would be cool for the audience to get some of the power tips that we learned in our 1-year adventure. What do you guys think?
Absolutely. We
love-
want to
I
hear from
love that
whoever's
idea.
out there. Yeah. if
So
you-
ladies first, I guess. Purple charisma. What do you think, Christelle?
Yeah, and we'd love to okay, so let's just set the tone a little bit. So normally we like to bring you all these beautiful slides. Hendo puts it together. He's the creative director. Today we're doing things a little bit differently. It's episode 10, like we're officially in the double digits. So we thought we'd just do it a little bit differently today, have more of a conversation. This is a style we're trying on Daybreak too, so we'd love to hear from you. So we want to invite you as we get into this conversation. And thank you, Alex. I love that question. That's a wonderful way to set up the conversation. We want to talk about personal branding today. It's what we've been talking about, but we've been focusing a lot on like tools and prompt engineering, and all of that is really wonderful. Today, we're going to have more of a conversation, and we want to invite the audience to participate. So if you want to share with us, what are your key takeaways, especially if you were in some of these spaces, or just in general, what do you think beginners should really know about personal branding because I feel like many of us, so I'm not an expert in personal branding. I'm becoming much better and learning a lot more, especially being friends with Hendo. And Alex, your branding is so on point. Like when I see pictures of you in New York or in Las Vegas and you're in your black, you know, with the gold tie, I'm like,
I'll
oh,
tell you a
man.
secret. I'm gonna share with you a secret after when it
Okay.
comes to me and share my 3 tips. I got
Okay,
you.
okay. I want to
That'd
know
be
how
so
many
good.
of those you have in your closet. Those like those Italian sleek. But yeah, so okay. Some of the key takeaways that I took today. One, positioning. You mentioned this, Hendo. John Nosta mentioned this. I've heard Justin Results talking about this a lot. But the piece that I really got out of today was seems to be the foundation. Understanding the market, understanding insights, what are the problems people are having, and then positioning yourself in a way to respond to that. That's what I took out of today. And that it's all about perception, right? So it's like all of those things coming together. And really what I learned is that we can talk about this for days and hours and still, you know, it's like a big rabbit hole. That's what I took away from 3 hours is like we're scratching the surface. And the more you scratch into it, it just like opens up a whole new dimension. But yeah, positioning,
Also,
market insights, response.
and also how deep people want to go into it as well. It's like, you know, if you just want to get a product out really quickly, brand it, put it out, keep going, get your next product out. It's completely, you know, that
Well,
you can
that's the
do
thing.
those
It's like, how do we not, because we tend to overcomplicate, right? So it's
of
like,
course.
I don't want to overcomplicate it for people. So then they're like, oh, I'm too new to build a personal brand. So I want everyone to know you already are, like, we already are a personal brand, whether we realize it or not.
Absolutely. If you've got a profile and you're on the internet and you're posting content, that's your personal brand. So if you're sharing pictures of your dog or you're posting content about whatever, that's your personal brand because that's the information you're putting out to the world. That's what people are going to start seeing about you. And they suddenly, you know, develop a persona that sits around that, depending on what you share. So I think it's important that if you're going to be building a brand, do it from the start. But you can also build it brick by brick. There's a really good hack, I think, on X where you can see the groups that you've been added to or lists that you've been added to, and you can see how people perceive you. So that if you're put into AI communities or branding or marketing or spaces hosts, it's easy to do that. So you
I'm
get.
laughing because I'm thinking about the parent list, right?
I know,
Like
yeah,
that was a big
yeah,
moment for me. When
yeah.
RJ added me to his parent list, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm at that place in life.
parents.
I'm added to parent.
What? Well, I didn't get added that list. What happened there, folks?
You're
Can I
not
get
on the
some
list. You
context
don't have
here?
children. You're
Yeah,
I
well,
didn't get added on the parent list.
you know, well, when you can create, obviously on X, you can create lists, but you can do
Yeah,
public lists and private lists.
yeah.
And some people create a public list and they call it something along the lines of slightly bigger than me. And then they add somebody to it and it just comes into your profile saying, I've just been added to a slightly bigger than me list.
douchebag.
Yeah, I can never forget that when I got added once like a small AIPP list. This was literally like, it's one of my friends, it's Jeremy
No.
Nguyen. Maybe you know him, he's like an AI researcher, he's a great guy. And I made a post, about because somebody was adding me. He's like a small account or something like that when I reached my 10K followers. And I was like, why you gotta hurt me like that? Like next time, what's next? Adding me to a small AIPP list. I made the post. Literally
Oh
3 hours
my
later, I
God.
see the notification. Jeremy added you to the small AIPP list. And I was like, bruh. Oh, the pain.
That is okay. I hope I never make it on that list. But yeah, we want to put a public disclaimer out there. If you make a list, please know whether or not it's public or private, because yeah, that can be
People can see.
interesting.
Or you make it on purpose to get their attention, You like
Yeah.
add, I don't know, the big creators, you make it like some funny name of the list, It's
Yeah,
like,
that's a good idea.
I
You
don't
just
know,
troll.
alcoholics, and then you add a couple of like, I don't know, big creators or something, and they're like, hey, what is this? And it's like, now I have your attention. Join my newsletter.
Yeah, for sure. What is starting to shift for me is when I first came into the world of branding, I really thought of things like color and typography and logo and those aspects of it, right? And I think that this show is a kind of a cool example because Alex, you're the one that came up with the first graphic, and look, we actually have it here. So
with the microphone with the three colors,
yeah,
right? So there's
and
orange for Hendo,
yeah,
golden and purple.
and it's
Perfectly
like,
intertwined.
wow, who knew that our brand colors went so well together, right?
AI knew. Midjourney AI knew. Took me a few prawns, but we got there.
And look, we've got the yellow tie with the black shirt. Yeah, I feel like the conversation we've been having though is it's like this whole other dimension. This is a part of it. And I don't know, Hendo, if you have a way that we can distinguish this for people, because I feel like there's this intangible kind of abstract side to personal branding. Oh, look, Dan Ryan is here. He's the one that hosted an awesome personal
from
branding
YouTube. Nice.
So yeah, there's this side, right? There's the color, logo, typography side, and then there's this other very, I mean, maybe it's not so abstract, maybe it feels like that because, you know, there's a lot to it, but how do you differentiate? Those seem like two big pieces, yet they're under the same umbrella.
Yeah, it's sort of, well, I think it was something that John Nosta mentioned in the last space, is that, you know, people see a color and they go, I like that, I like blue, or I like green. And then you work back from that. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. But there's also a certain energy or a vibe from colors as well. And that if you bind yourself to those colors from the outset, just because you like that color, you might end up in a situation in time and go, I don't really like that now. And you've got to change it. And then you change it for something else. Then you change for something else. So it's sort of trying to decide what the direction is for your brand. And you know, what we were saying in the space earlier was about starting from what your kind of proposition is or what you're actually trying to do. And I think if you're leading with the color, you're kind of going for aesthetic first rather than what the brand's about. And I think a lot of people, because we're in this sort of instant gratification, or we live in this world of like press button, get content straight away, or get whatever you want. People think that the brand just happens instantly, and it takes time. You know, any of the big brands that are out there, whether they're tech platforms or consumer products that we know, they have taken decades to build over time. So it's more about the reputation. So this is kind of why I was mentioning earlier that if you're putting out content, that's the content that people are going to judge you on as well. So that they start to see, just because you don't have a logo or you don't have a consistent banner or any of other these sort of brand assets or designs, it's still what you say to the world and how you act, how you reply to people, and what people gauge about you as well. So that's kind of like from a not even a sort of philosophical level, more just from a sort of the aesthetic, but also what sits behind it as well. So Alex, what you did with the graphic was really cool. There's I'll put it back up because it sort of goes on. There's a little graphic on what I wanted to ask people as well. The chat's quiet today, so the three of us could just chat amongst ourselves. It's like, what exactly does personal branding even mean? And it's kind of a new thing for me as well, because coming from the creative industry, I think a lot of people build their brands and their portfolios based on work that they've done previously. So they've worked for cool agencies, they've worked for cool brands or products, and they've built these things out. But a lot of that work is work you've done for someone else, and then they've changed that work. And you know, there's always the amazing opportunity when you create a piece of creative for a client and it gets signed off straight away and it goes out and it's out in the world. It's your work with them. Whereas with a personal brand, when you start to craft what you talk about and how you present yourself to the world and your opinions about things, that's you. That's everything that you're about. So I think as people share more about themselves, share the struggles that they've had and how they perceive the world, how they perceive different things, that way you can then start to really craft something. And people go, no, I don't like that guy. I don't like the way he talks about whatever topic. Or people resonate with you because you're a parent or you've been through maybe potentially struggles that someone else has been through as well. So you're leading with your personality rather than leading with a portfolio of client work as well. That's, I think, and that's something that I've learned about on X and also on LinkedIn as well, because a lot of people, I think, on LinkedIn previously It's like, I've worked for all these people. And it's like, it's kind of like, don't care. It's like, what are you about and what are you sharing?
Almost works against people these days.
Absolutely.
Like when someone just kind of wants to present their resume, it's like,
yeah, 100%. It's controversial for sure, and people don't like hearing it, but it's the way it is. And it's like, I remember hiring for a number of agencies ago. We were hiring for designers, and a number of the people that applied for the job, they all had the same content in their portfolios because they were freelancers and they'd worked at an agency on a project that had gone on for maybe 6 to 9 months. And a number of different people worked on it. So they've all got the same work in their portfolio. So when you look at a portfolio, you're looking at it thinking, well, what did you do? Where's you in the product? You've just given me a load of graphics that you've done for a client. Share something that's about you. And I think this is where people are doing really well on X. And I think that's where X is different. It's not a comparison between platforms. It's more about the opportunity that people can build, because you can talk a lot and you can share so much varied content, and it's easy to connect with people. That's how we've connected. So this is a topic that I think we could talk about a lot, but like with the slides here as well, we presented this a few weeks ago about, your skills, your experience, and your personality, because all of these things together, that's, you're in the middle. That your experience is the stuff that you've been through, and then your skills of the sector that you're skilled in, with tech, with education, and with creativity. And then personality is like, what's your vibe? Is he boring, or is he actually going to be fun to work with? Because some of the projects that you work on with people, you're going to be doing it for a long time. And if you don't like the person, why do you want to work with them? So
vibe check all the time.
Yeah, it, man. Absolutely. So we pulled this together really quickly. It's there's no quick fix for this at all, and it takes time to do it. But what I did was just crafted a quick prompt for people. So this is a screenshot moment for anybody that's thinking about building a personal brand, or is already doing it and trying to figure out how to speak, how to talk, how to present yourselves, what those graphics are. This will just take you through probably about 10 to 12 different questions, one by one, that you can answer them. You can use your CV, you can copy and paste various different bits of content into it, and just see what it does back for you. I've only made this 10 minutes ago based on the space that we had. So something nice and quick just to see if it works. I've already tested it. It kind of works. If it doesn't, just give me a shout back and I'll try and help you with it. I think with this as well, Christelle, I'm going to try and create a GPT for this as well, so that we can use it for the later shows as well, that we can get deeper into helping people with their personal branding.
Yeah, if you create it, I'll definitely be able to share it. I've been sharing the Niche Finder. I did a post
I've seen that one
yesterday.
Yeah.
So that's another good one that's very helpful. But this is great. And another thing people can do is take their transcripts. Like if you are a host in a space, or if you've been speaking in spaces, what you're speaking about should be aligned with your personal brand, right? So you can like put your transcripts into ChatGPT, or even into this kind of prompt here. I love this. I especially love the ask me questions one by one. That's one of my favorites.
Well, it helps it rather than like I think a lot of people tend to just put a prompt in, and it's like that's the one and done prompt. You need to kind of take your time to go through it as well. And just with the personal branding as well, something that I love making is ads, and I like making memes. They're quite fun. I like to have a bit of a laugh when I'm doing it, and I do it for clients as well. So I made, Hendo AI there was an intention behind it, so that the AI is what can be applied to different things. This is the reasoning behind the brand, and that AI can be added to different phraseology. So here it's like avoid extinction, which is obviously like a dinosaur that worked in the 1950s in the advertising industry, and he wants to avoid extinction. He's on public transport on his way to his work, and this is kind of the meme idea that sort of sits behind it. And we've done it with Get AI Creative as well. We've taken out the A and the I from creative, because we're putting AI into creative to see what we can do it as well. So a little bit of fun. Clap, clap.
I love that little slogan. You should have delivered it more powerfully, Hendo. That was a great slogan.
I know. And I love
Get it back, and say it again powerfully, like you mean it. Show people that, orange energy, fire energy.
Fire.
That's it. Own the fire. I can't remember what the next slide is. I think it's you, Alex. Maybe we've got a
It's
little.
okay. I mean, we can talk about brands. So you can just leave it for this one for now. But like, you can give, yeah, because like the topic for today, I was going to talk about like no AI in Europe, which is a bit of a problem. You know, to be on brand, right? Beyond brand, I'm going to talk about that. But no, go one slide back. Go one slide back, and I could
Okay.
actually give people some tips on branding because like I've been doing this again for like 1 year at this point. I got like around 11,000 followers on Follower. I got like on LinkedIn, I have like top AI voice, and sometimes people ask me about the branding. I can give some quick tips I think that could help you. Not like, I mean, people listening for us today, right? So they might be a bit controversial, but they do work because they kind of connected to psychology. So what Hendo is mentioning, right, with the colors, it is important, but it's just the beginning because it needs to be a general vibe. So one of the things, first things I can tell you is like, you gotta be a bit crazy. And when I mean crazy, I mean, right, my simple brand colors, yes, are black and gold and yellow. Other people can copy them. But I do take it to the next level because I go and teach AI at Cornell Tech in Roosevelt Island with a black suit and a golden tie, live as a person on one of the top universities in the world. So I believe in that, right? Why am I saying to you this? Because brands at the end of the day are a concept that you like, you're supposed to like. Whether it's corpo, what is personal brand, right? You're building a persona, an idea, concept. The whole thing would be people should love it. People should like it. They should get into your shoes or brand and they should say, like, I want to do that. I want to buy that. I want to be like that. So if you have a brand where like I'm a tax accountant and I have 20,000 colors and I don't know, it could work, I guess, but you know, ideally that was the whole mindset that I have with the brand. Like Alex Northstar is a better Alex. For me, it's simple, right? And that's why I do love the brand that I'm building and I believe in it. Because like in my mind, since the beginning, I was like, there's the normal Alex, which is a boring guy, but Alex Northstar is an example for my little sister. How would he look like? He would look slick, elegant, but with a touch of something that corpo would never allow you to do, right? Golden ties. They would never allow it to go on a stage dressed like that, but I can because it's my own company. Now, something else that a good brand is, it's consistency. So we're gonna go a bit like when we talk about like monetizing brands because I think it's important for a lot of people. You can build cool colors, but can you monetize it? That's a challenge. You can monetize when people tell you, "Hey, I've been following you since months, and your content is solid, and I need your help with whatever you do." Also, Christelle was mentioning about the positioning. It's indeed super important, and the idea is you keep that positioning for months, not for days, not for weeks, but for months. And that's where the magic starts happening. When you have these warm leads, people come to you and it's like, "Hey, I've been following your tutorials, what you've been saying. I agree with your stuff since a few months. I want to buy your course. I want to join for your newsletter. I want to do consulting with you." That's when you know that the brand is aligned with who you are. Because if not, I also see some new people out there beginning where they say I'm a six-figure entrepreneur dropping from high school and being a ghostwriter now. And then you see it's actually 15-year-old kids trying to sell you whatever they do. It's like, is that aligned? Yes, you're trying to build the brand. Yes, I'm seeing the colors. Is that aligned with who you are and what you do? No. Would people believe that? Also, no. So it's a bigger idea, right? It's a psychology thing that is being created there. And the third thing that I can share again from my experience is like, you do need to live it in some shape or form because it needs to be everywhere, right? So when you make YouTube videos, when you make your content, there needs to be some form of way of recognizing you. So again, I go with the brand of being a symbol, some shape or form. Whenever I did my graphic design and all this stuff since the beginning, I was like, I love space, I love intelligence, brain, and I love these colors, right? So the whole idea was making people smarter. With AI or not, I don't really care. It's all about like it's just a means to an end, but it's supposed to be recognizable. And that's why I get tagged when people make some cool designs with Batman with gold. I get tagged in those posts. Like, hey, this is a cool stuff. It's not me making these designs. Some people, experiment with colors, but I get tagged in those posts because people recognize the colors. To go back to point one, being a bit crazy about the whole brand, about the whole pineapple pizza, right? I do embrace the Italian thing. I do go against pineapple pizza. I get tagged in posts where people say, it's like, "Oh yeah, Alex Northstar would not appreciate this." Why? Because this is the most important brand. It means
I
your
definitely
brand gets because it means that your brand is getting into people's heads. This is what you're aiming for. It's not a brand because you say so. It's a brand because people think about you, what you do, and how you present it. That's it, folks. I hope this was useful. This is like my 3 takeaways, and it's because based on what people told me after following my content, right? In the chats, like I recognize your designs, your content solid, and I want to follow you. So I think this is a good metric that I try to keep, right? I delete a lot of my posts sometimes when I feel like they're not consistent with what I want to be, where they're not adding value or something, right? So it's carefully curated. And don't be deceived. Also, the big brands, the big guys there that you see that are super successful in the beginning, they were not consistent, they were not solid, but they cleaned it. If you go and see Dan Coe's YouTube career, if you see his first 10 videos that he now removed, were not branded, they were not viral, and they were not that great. He just removed it later, so that everything looks slick and consistent, which is okay. Curation. And I'm passing the mic to either the lady or my man Hendo. Who wants the mic?
Love it. Love
I'll
it.
take. Do you want it?
No, it's funny because like when I think of both of you, I think of food items, right, as part of your branding, and they both
Make
happen.
people hungry.
They both happen to be yellow food items. We've got the banana with Hendo, and then the no pineapple, so we don't want to see the pineapple. But yeah, all of these things are part of it. Really cool. Thank you, Dan, for that very nice compliment. You make me smarter and kinder. I feel like your spaces and your energy. But yeah, thank you, Alex, for that. I love what you said about, yeah, for real. He gets the hearts.
Get it, folks. Thank you for everybody joining us. And Hendo has superior tech because when he does the heart, he has also animations.
But I love what you said, Alex, about kind of being, oh my gosh. Okay.
Flexing. He's just flexing. He's just flexing at this point. Get this man at it.
Like nothing happens when I do that. I love what you were saying about kind of being crazy or extreme with it because it really works. Like it really works. And it's how we stand apart from the noise. So I'm glad that you pointed that out. Because you're right. I could imagine that a corporate,
wildness.
Yeah, a corporate, a company would not be okay with you going on with your gold tie. But this is what's so fun about building a personal brand. Yeah,
Absolutely.
really cool.
And an own company. And also when you own the company, it's easier to just get on the stage. It's like, yeah, you're paying me so I can get with my golden tie. These are my conditions. They're written in the contract.
Exactly.
Well, listen, even the banana thing that it started as a little bit of a joke on X, but it just kind of became something
I
bigger.
need a food item. Sorry.
You just get a food item for sure. Get one. Do it.
I love this way, like robotics, and it sounds like ChatGPT talk. I need the food items. Like, are you hungry? Do you want to eat? Like, we humans say we want to eat. They made this meme with Mark Zuckerberg, where like he was in the trial and he's like, "Oh, hello, fellow human. I'm hydrating my organs like you. You mean you're drinking water?"
I actually looked up one time what does liking yellow foods mean, because I would notice I would look down at my groceries and I just had all yellow foods. So I actually looked it up one time. What does yellow, like my favorite foods are yellow. I'm telling you, bananas, eggs, scrambled eggs. Anyway, I won't go down the list, but it does mean something. And those colors mean something too. Going back to personal branding, Justin was in Dan Ryan's space and he was talking about the color blue. And it's cool because we've got blue here on the show. But blue means trust, right? And so he was talking about how that was part of his decision making. And then John Nosta was talking about, I don't think he said what blue means, but clearly blue is a very strong color. If you think of fast food restaurants, right, it's like red, yellow. Apparently those colors make people think of food and hunger. So all of this stuff, and Alex, you mentioned like the psychology behind things. That's what I say. This goes so much further than the assets, the aesthetic. It really goes deep into perception, psychology, and what I keep coming back to in my mind, the positioning, but also the market research, right? So researching, what do colors mean? I remember when I was starting, it was like, I noticed every tech company had the black background, Like,
or if it's a startup, they are like purple. If it's a startup, they are purple because it's associated with technology.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
It was blue before, like when Facebook started, they had that sort of blue color. and I was like, this the color of the future, technology,
Yeah.
LED. That's what we're all going to wear, like skin tight
I'm
bright
just,
stuff.
I'm honestly with you. I'm just kind of sad that like green, which is my favorite color, but don't tell nobody. I don't see it anywhere by nobody. Nobody's using it. I mean,
Right.
yes, you look a bit like a leprechaun, but like it's still nice. You know, it's the color of youth and nature. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
you don't
Sad.
really see. You'd like there's plenty of colors that you don't see out there. Like people don't go near them.
Brown, for example. I don't know why. They never use it, but we're still branding with the
but
brown
it's
color. It's
nice.
crazy.
It's nice when someone can make a color their own that you would not imagine. So I'll give you an example. One color that I would not imagine someone would want to use is the color brown, right? Because I know what I think of when I think
Chocolate.
of the color brown.
Milk chocolate.
Wooden chairs.
That's one thing. I have a child, so I think of poop.
Wooden chairs. What a man of culture,
my
Handel. Wooden chair.
my melanin moods has managed to make brown and pink part of her branding, and it looks so good. And she even has the brown emoji, the brown heart emoji, which is really cool that we can align our emojis with our color brand as well, right?
Yep.
But yeah, so Alex, I mean, you've got gold down, but maybe if there's some other brand out there you want to build, I think you could definitely do it with the green and make it work. Be different.
It's not gonna happen, Chief. No, they're gonna say like this elk color or something like that, or like dollar color. Like I don't know. It's weird though because every time I thought about it, I was like, this just doesn't work. Like I don't know why with tech, I never see anybody use green. And there must be a reason. If somebody in the audience knows,
Maybe a
please
little
let
bit
us
of,
know.
like,
DM us. Why is green not good for tech?
Turquoise.
What's the issue here?
Green.
Maybe it's a money thing, is it? Because like people sort of refer to like notes with green, and then if you're sort of piling up the money, it's like you're trying to be like, oh, Jeffrey's on it. He's
Jeff.
going for green.
But for Jeff works because he's into longevity. So for him, it's quite nice actually. You know, it's green,
That
it's
works.
youth, nature. Jeffrey got a winner right there. Nice one.
That's
We
it.
like
No one
that,
else.
Jeffrey.
No one else can use green now. Jeffrey
owns green.
But that's the thing, again, goes back to the psychology, right? Because if you play your cards right and if the coloring is consistent and repeated, that's when people start associating you with that color and message and not others, right? The others will be copycats and you will be the main one. So that's why it's such an important part of the whole content game to nail branding properly. Because there's a huge difference, right, between being the copycat, you know, trying to, like the wannabe, trying to copy the brand colors, and the one that owns them. And that's what I'm saying. When you're crazy, right? So that's why other people try to do golden, yellow, and black. But how many of them do you see going on live events with the tie? So
Right.
then I can just tell people, it's like, I go dressed like this in real life. Do you? And then they're going to back down.
How many people are going to create an AI image of themselves in a New York train surrounded by police with a gigantic phallic banana? Hendo.
I owned
That's
it.
what Hendo did.
It's
thing is,
yours.
I didn't post any of that content on LinkedIn. It was all on X. I
It's
might,
all on X.
yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
how it's
you
going to work.
it's okay, I think. You just might, I don't know how it works with the LinkedIn vibe with that kind of content. Like,
Let us know if you're here from LinkedIn how you would feel about that.
Yeah, the LinkedIn audience are quiet today.
An SFW and not, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's just, you know,
No, I'm just kidding. It's
Yeah, I
fine.
don't know.
It's
It's not
totally
really
like PG-13. Now I have a question about my color. Is my color more pink or purple?
oh yikes, this is a tough one because I have also a very controversial opinion here. Now, okay, but I'm gonna keep it. So
Okay.
the thing is, I have this. Okay, people can correct me in the audience. I have this opinion, right, that we men are a bit more simple. We can see around 13 colors, but every time I talk with my girlfriend or lady, you can see like 397 colors. So that's why you have light blue, turquoise, all of this, and for me, it's like blue or light blue. The colors that I see, like for me, when I see it, it's like it's purple. But definitely somebody is gonna say, like, no, it's actually with a tint of pink.
My mom
I
said
don't
pink,
know.
and I was like, really? I see purple. Theodora sees purple. I'd love to hear anyone's thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of saw well, I always saw two. I thought there was two different colors. There was like a pink and a purple because there is the branding on the Edu Creator site,
Yeah.
which looks
Mhm.
cool. Everyone gets it. It's like, and then the purple hearts come up when we're in
It's
space.
both. Yeah, it's both. Purple's one of those, like, it's my favorite color, and it just happened to be when I was doing the research on all of the, like Alex was talking about, the tech startups. I was like, well, this works.
Yep,
Very cool.
absolutely. Right. Is there something else that we're missing? Is there something else that some people could benefit, if they're building their personal brands? Because I think, as I said, psychology is a super important game. So it definitely starts with colors, right? Consistency of repeating the stuff everywhere in your materials. Because I saw the disconnect on some people where their colors, right? You see the profile picture and it's like it's blue. Then you go in their newsletter and it's like it's black or something. That doesn't work, folks. It needs to be very consistent. You need to put in the effort to make it all standardized to your colors.
And
Consistency, definitely part.
PFP across platforms as well. Like, take that PFP. That PFP is such a big part. Profile. I don't know why we call it PFP.
Profile picture. Profile picture on Twitter when we retweet stuff.
I don't know what Twitter is. I'm sorry. Alex is stuck.
You were here in the beginning days. You were here in the beginning days. Don't act like that,
I don't know what Twitter is.
When I joined, I was posting on X. When we joined, we were retweeting on Twitter.
So funny. He is stuck in the Twitter world. But have you all heard that X is completely blowing up? Like, the number of users that have been joining over the past week and a half is just like, it's crazy. It's really blowing up. Now's the time, people. Get on X. Come build with us.
I think
and follow us.
People's realization after some pretty big events happened over the last sort of 2 weeks, and that they were finding out this information hours, if not days later, and it's happening live on the other
some platforms. You're just never going to hear it talked about at all, like what's going on. So,
or not the truth, just like heavily manipulated. Then you would see how people perceive it on Twitter and telling you, it's like, wow, that's crazy how traditional media shows you the same event with different wording.
For sure.
That is wild
crazy
to me. Or I would be over on Instagram and they would be posting something as breaking news that I had heard about like 2 days ago.
Yeah, it's old news.
On X. And I'm like, not only is it no longer breaking, but it's not that anymore. It's like actually something totally different. So X is just a totally different experience when it comes to news. But something about the recent events with the assassination attempt just brought an entirely new energy, because we're here watching the entire thing, and still like so much is still going on with America right now, and I think a lot of the world is watching. But yeah, we have a couple minutes left, so maybe we should Alex, you've been so good about this, go around and talk about how people can connect with us. And yeah, so Alex, do you want to let the people know?
All right. So for me, you can see there the contacts on icon. X, Twitter, you can find me as North Star Brain. I'm also present on LinkedIn. But the best place you can find if you want to talk to me actually directly is my website. I have like northstarbrain.com. And if you want to get knowledge, every Tuesday I have a newsletter that I run for free. It's called AIsecondbrain.io. That's pretty much what I do in terms of AI productivity, making you smarter and helping you win 2 hours per day. Today I talked more about branding because it's one of the things that I do since 1 year. But we wanted to try to help here the people with every way we can. So hope you enjoyed the conversation. I'm going to pass the mic now to Hendo or to Hendo. I'm giving it to Hendo. All right, Mike is yours, my good man.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks, Alex. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today, episode 10. It's been slightly different. We're going to be back next week, episode 11. And it'd be good to hear from everybody what you thought of the show, what you'd like to see more of, what you'd like to see less of. We've been here for 10 weeks now sharing AI tips, personal branding tips, technology tips, social media tips. Be good to get a bit of a gauge from everyone, what you want to see more of.
Let us know if you want the slides back. If you want the slides, we can double down on the slides. We can have a show with 57 slides. You get one slide per minute, quick shooting.
Don't say more slides. I don't want to do more slides. We do that
Alex will do all the slides. If you all want more slides, just DM Alex and let him know.
I'm going to put one word per slide. Welcome. Next slide, two. Next slide, this. Next slide,
do it like
show.
an ebook. It can be a downloadable ebook. Yeah.
For one sentence, 17 dislikes.
Oh, that's cool.
Christelle,
Thank you.
microphone
Yeah.
to you.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for joining. This was a lot of fun. You can definitely find me on X. I'm all over the X streets, especially now that we're doing EduCreator Live again, which means that we are hosting daily spaces, 12 p.m. Eastern. And Wednesday, we go live for Daybreak, which is a show on X, all about X. You can also find me on LinkedIn. I've been a lot more actually active over on LinkedIn, which has been nice. I've been writing some articles over there and my impressions are going up. Apparently LinkedIn likes the articles. So that's really good. Yeah, and you can join the community at AIforeducreators.com. That's my newsletter and would love to see you all. Wherever
Epic show.
we are.
So wherever we are. Thanks,
Wherever
The
everybody.
world.
We're back on
Connecting.
X tomorrow for Daybreak, and then we've got spaces for the rest of the week. Thank you all for your support. It's good to see you all. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the retweets, posts, likes, all of that sort of stuff. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
See you on the next one.
See ya.